MSA Weekly, Bill Sammons with Kevin Short of MSA, and we're back at the Freeman Arts Pavilion in Selbyville, backstage. And Kevin, we're going to answer a question today that came in, and that is the question of what are some of the complications or challenges of mixing a live band?
Wow, that's a big question, and there are a lot. A lot of the times when we're mixing a band that we've never seen before. So that's the challenge, is finding out what they sound like, listening to their like rehearsal maybe, or if they're playing before the sound check or doing the sound check, just kind of hearing what their vibe is kind of critical. So communicating with the band, like we talked about in the previous episode, just knowing what to expect. The challenge is like, how loud can you get the monitors, before you have feedback? What kind of guitar tone are you really looking for? Is the band, kind of drum driven, or sometimes bands will share a video with us of a previous performance. That can be helpful. Sometimes we'll search for one on our own, but you don't know if you're actually seeing the same band that's going to show up for the show that you're going to do. Yeah. So, you might see that, I recognize that one guy, but I don't recognize these other players. But sometimes a song list, not that we need to know the song, but it's like, on this song, there's a guitar solo and the two backup singers sing the third verse and they split it. That's really good information, because if you've never mixed that band before and you don't know that, that's something you're probably going to miss, or you're going to get too late. So that kind of information is critical. Back to the challenging part of your question. The most challenging part is figuring out who in the band communicates with the sound person the best, because that's the person you need to kind of, lock into and communicate, because there's always going to be one person that can kind of sum it up for you. And you can't take direction from 5 people or 6 people at once. Right. So you got to figure out who that one person is and take direction from them. And it's challenging when you're mixing a band you've never seen before. And it can be fun though, because it's exciting, because you're doing something you've never heard.
Oh, it's very exciting, because you're flying without a net.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so then you're relying on your people.
Exactly.
And you've got some people that have been doing this for a very long time. Very long time.
Yeah.
Doing it well for
thousands of shows.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that makes a difference. Now, when a venue, say here at the Freeman Arts Pavilion, a lot of they bring their own mixer, or
a lot of the national acts travel with their own guys.
Okay.
Yeah. Some don't. Maybe some travel with a monitor guy, because he's working closely with the band.
Okay.
Maybe they don't have a front of house guy.
Right.
And a lot of times in that situation, they'll give you very good notes about what to expect.
Okay.
A lot of the, when you get down to like local support, they rarely ever have it, because if they're playing in a local club, they don't have a person. So, you can have all of those. Any of those scenarios can present themselves at any one time. And the same goes, we're talking about audio, but the same thing goes for lighting. It's like, most of the bands don't travel with an LD. So you want to know what's going on song-wise, so the lighting guy has an idea of what kind of vibe the show is. You're not going to do a lot of, flashing lights if it's an acoustic act that's kind of mellow, or it's a folk act, or we're singing Kumbaya. You're not going to be moving the light, so.
And video, might as well throw that in too. Because
there you go.
It's all about communication, I guess, really.
The video guys need to know who's playing when, because they got to cut to that.
Right.
And, if a band's playing a song and those solo portions are very short, they're cutting from one guy to the next, sometimes by the time you figure it out, their solo's over and it's somebody else playing. So all that communication is the key. So.
Great, thank you. That was a big question, and we look forward to hearing your questions if you have one.
Or you can comment and say that everything I just said was crazy. So whatever.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
But if you have a question, how do they get up with you?
Kevin at MidSouthAudio.com for now, and thanks for joining us on MSA Weekly.
We'll see you next time.